Hi everyone, I'm back with some more Iron Judgment card reveals. The expansion is just 3 days away at this point, and there's lots to talk about. Now, I am having internet issues, so I'm not doing this as a live stream, so this is a YouTube exclusive, this particular reveal. So let's go through these cards together. But first, I want to shout out all the people that had a chance to reveal these cards, these hardworking community members. I want to give a shout out to Alex Doberman, Miranda the Tempest, Kupor, Rokuso, Wang ID, Claymore, Huan Shi, Quillen Lance, Hannah-chan, CN Gwent, Tech, and Andrea Grumperis. The cards from the last few days have been the spiciest yet, but we'll start off with a pretty tame one. This one is the Ardfane Heavy Cavalry, a new bronze unit for Nilfgaard, 4 provisions for a 3 strength, 2 armor, assimilate unit. Not much to say about this. It's your alternative to Ducal Guard if you want it to have a little bit more armor. It does have more survivability, is weaker to anti-armor cards. I don't know if this card's even going to see any play. I don't see how it's better than the Ducal Guard in a world where they're introducing armor techs and cards that just take more damage if they have armor. But I could be wrong. Maybe it's just good to run both. But then you'd have to ask yourself if this card is better than a Nausicaa Sergeant. I don't know. It could be. There could be just a pure assimilate deck out here, and this is just the new bronze piece that's going to help you out. And once again, Nilfgaard will probably be a really strong Portal faction. Not every faction is going to end up being defined by Portal, I don't think. I don't know if scoia'tael will be, even though the fledglings are very good. But I think the Nilfgaard probably will be, as long as Ducal Guard is as good as it is, and Nausicaa Sergeant as well. So just one more card to kind of add to that toolbox. Zoltan's Company is a new scoia'tael special card at 6 provisions. It is gold, epic card here. When played, spawn 3 Rowdy Dwarves on the allied row. And here is the Rowdy Dwarf, the official artwork and token for it. The Rowdy Dwarf is a 2 strength token, so it has Doomed built into it. 2 strength with 1 armor. So this just seems like a damn good card. It's Congregation with no real drawback. Much better than that. It is a gold card. Very relevant for all sorts of things that care about dwarves. This card is just, for value's sake, an amazing card, and probably will see play in any dwarf deck. I just have a bit more to say. Just thinking about Pumpkin's reveal here, Monroe Brewis. Here's an example of kind of how everything is coming together. You have your 3 Rowdy Dwarves special card, which is great when you can spawn more than 1 at a time. So Monroe is excellent because he transforms 2 of those Rowdy Dwarves into Dwarf Berserkers, which turns those Rowdy Dwarves into these engines right here. And you may have already had some of these engines on the board already because they're 4 provision point cards and they're easy to play dwarves. And now you've got a solid Dwarven core. So this picture is starting to be painted, and I believe we know that the Monroe Brewis artwork is a tri-art. So there's still 2 gold special cards that could have more to do with Rowdy Dwarves that we haven't even seen yet. And that's not even part of this review either. So this archetype's looking like it's coming together, and it's not even fully painted. Pretty cool so far, though. Next Nilfgaard card, a new special tactic at 8 provisions, gold card, War Council. Look at the top 3 cards from your deck and play 1. John Calvert's ability in a card. For that reason, it doesn't excite me. That is what it is. It takes a lot of uniqueness out of the leader ability, and of course I am talking about John Calvert's ability. I feel like there's not a lot to really analyze here because we know Calvert's good, we know why he's good. It just allows you to dig into your deck, grab what you need, know what's there on the next time you need to draw or cycle a card on your deck. So it's good. I mean, it's obviously a good card, and now Nilfgaard can do it more often. I don't think it's offering Nilfgaard anything new. I just think that it's just a new option and a much better idea. You know, it's, if I had to pick this in Treason and I was down to picking my last tactic, I'm probably picking this card. So it's, you know, good for that reason at least. New Northern Realms epic card here, Voimir, is a 7 provision point, 5 strength, human soldier with 1 armor. On deploy, boost an allied unit and all of its copies by 1 and give them 1 armor. This card could be good or bad. Obviously, you think that it's good with Revenants, good with Blue Stripe Commandos, good with the Dunbanner as well, or really anything you want to copy and puke out later on in the game, depending on if you're playing Henselt, whatever you want to do. So it's good for that. You can see the immediate application for that, but it's bad in the fact that most of the cards that care about boosting other cards of a certain type on the board by 1 haven't been very good cards. Hammond hasn't been very good. Death Mold didn't really show it able to pull its weight, and it's kind of identical to this card. It depends on how much you value the armor and how much you have cards that care about armor. If this armor's up a whole row and I have something that cares about the amount of armor on the board, now we're talking, now we're cooking, because 7 provisions is not that much of a cost. I just think that the counter argument is that there's a lot of cards that kind of already do this for other kinds of cards, and they've never seen play. So I don't think this is going to see play either, but we'll see. That's how I need to end every review, right? We'll see. We'll see. Another Northern Realms card. Oh, yes, a legendary this time. 9 provisions for a 6 strength human soldier and knight with 2 armor, defender, and shield. That is it. Very easy to understand. In theory, it is going to be excellent because it has defender on it. This is the Northern Realms faction defender. The 2 armor is obviously nice for anything that's going to potentially take hits. The shield is extra nice. Now, Purify double dips on this guy, taking away defender and shield, making it a very mediocre card for 9 provisions. But at least it does eat that type of answer from your opponent, and that in a way eats a turn. How many turns your defender is going to buy you as far as vulnerability, the rest of your stuff on your board and the vulnerability of it, that's always how you're going to evaluate your defender in whatever deck. If you think that you can actually get a bunch of turns out of your defender on a regular basis, it's going to be massive, especially for bleeds. But I mean, in any decisive round, in most cases, you're going to love these cards. This one is the simplest to understand, the least exciting, but you know, seems very tanky. So if your opponent doesn't have this binary answer, they're just going to have to get through this unit one way or another, and it's just going to eat those hits up because of that shield. Let's talk about this card, though. Oh boy, this card is a big deal. I think this card is going to generate a lot of discussion, and a lot of people are going to lose to this card, I think. This is Savolla, one of the spiciest cards in the expansion. 9 provisions for a 6 strength human Salamandra mage with Profit 2 and Tribute 9. Spawn Savolla's Frightener on this row. Savolla's Frightener is a 12 strength unit with 6 armor. It's appearing as a bronze common here, but I think that we've seen our artwork mistakes before right here on this channel, so I don't think that we're going to count on this being a bronze card. But I don't think you need to, it doesn't really matter because it's a 12 strength unit with 6 armor. So right away, you look at the conversion rate on the Tribute, 9 coins for 12 strength. That's better than usual. It's not Philippa good, but it's pretty good. But what you're immediately also looking at is the Profit 2. Now we're looking at more like 7 coins because he gives you the 2 coins as well. So he can do this with 7 coins, so it's looking a little better now. And now we're also worried about Madame Louisa. Madame Louisa makes a Tribute completely free. Unlike Tin Boy, the other Tribute 9 card, Tin Boy requires a board state where you can really take advantage of it, your opponent's board state, which you have not as much control over as you do here. In this situation, you need nothing. You just need to play Savolla and enjoy your Frightener, and your opponent probably won't enjoy that. You also put a number of points on the board. The burst on those 2 cards is pretty good. It's like 24 points and 2 cards. I mean, we're just going to have to see. I think it's going to be a really good card, you guys. I think it didn't need the Profit 2 to be pretty jaw-dropping, in my opinion. It's very easy to get 9 coins in a single round if you're any of the leaders. I think if you're Dijkstra, King of Beggars, Gudrun, obviously, Horson Jr. as well, because it's obviously a good card. I don't want to sell it as anything less than a good card. It's starting at the floor is extremely high, obviously, because it's just it's so easy to understand. You pay the coins, you get the conversion, you get the points very fast. Syndicate usually needs to get going. This is a short round answer for Syndicate that's quite scary. And in a lot of ways, this is a 7 coin for a 12 boost. 7 coins for 12 is almost 2 for 1. Philippa's already doing that. She has a 3 strength body. I think that this is probably as fair as Philippa. Let's just leave it at that and see how the game works out. One of my favorite arts in the set, the Covenant of Steel. This is Skellige's Defender card, 9 provisions for a 7 strength human warrior pirate with Defender, as I said, and Berserk 6. At the end of your turn, gain 1 armor. So it's really great. As soon as the Covenant of Steel, as soon as this group of friends are hurt in any way, Berserk 6 again, meaning that as soon as its health is 6 or less, this now is activated. So as soon as this unit is hurt, she gets the shield out and she starts protecting them, and they start gaining armor and getting better and better at defending. So the flavor is right on. The base strength is also good, and the effect makes a lot of sense. It also means that it is in a way, an engine, depending on how you want to look at how you're interacting with that armor, with bronze engines or however else the game pans out for using armor, removing armor. Like I said before when I was talking about defender, how many turns is your defender going to buy you if you need that protection? This one is generating value over those turns, so I think it's, in spirit, it's good. It's just, is it going to be easy to remove or not? Because it seems to be maybe one of the weaker defenders when you compare it to Nilfgaards and monsters. Compared to Northern Realms, I think it's probably, unfortunately, the weakest one so far. I think we can see that. I think that it's just because it starts off at 7 and immediately can just take all that damage straight up without any sort of armor or other protection. It's probably going to end up being the weakest for that reason. I don't want to say that because I like this card a lot. I think it's a really cool card and I love the flavor of it. Armory, now we're getting kind of like more of the core cards. These are like, you know, the core cards that we're going to see show up. This is a gold card, so it is epic, but it's still very core. 6 provisions for a neutral special card with no category, apparently. This could be wrong, though, when we get into the game. Reads boost a unit by 6 and give it 3 armor. I just think it's, you know, kind of like Sangreal. Like, we're just never going to see it, so we'll see. A new card for scoia'tael. This is a pretty huge card, considering this is a gnome. It's only the second gnome that the faction has, and it has Harmony, so it procs Harmony almost all the time, and it has Harmony too. This is Percival Schuttenbach. This is a 7 provision point card, not 1 as the art shows, 7 provisions, for a 4 strength gnome with 3 armor and Harmony 2. Much like the Dire Mutated Hound and Sir Skewertooth, and other cards that have, and also the new Nilfgaard Soldier with Assimilate too. Seems like every faction is going to get something that does its faction thing really well. Are we going to see a Thrive too? The Kikamor Queen is going to be that kind of card, so we may not see a Thrive too, and I don't think we're going to see an Intimidate too because we already have that for Syndicate. The Draco Turtle, and actually new Ada Pododwarna art. You may not have expected it, and also not the kind of art you might expect, but she still has lots of artwork at the CD Projekt Red Studios, and this is one of them. So this is the Draco Turtle. This is a really cool card for Skellige. It's a bruiser, and it needs to be for 12 provisions. It's a 6 strength beast with 6 armor, and whenever this unit loses armor, boost self by the amount of armor lost. There are really so many interactions you can have with this card. Anything that damages this card gets that extra boost. If you play something like Canute the Callous, or you're playing something like Mardroam or something that damages it, especially Mardroam, considering it damages and boost, that damage doesn't even occur. And it actually gives the extra boost because it removes 3 armor. So it's basically boost a unit by 3 and then again by 9. Is that right? That's pretty good, I think. This card seems like it has a lot of stuff to play with, and it's very, very highly costed. So you need to have a combo with it, much like Yutta and Sigdrief is right, and stuff like Olaf and stuff like Heim. You're going to have to build a combo into this, and Skellige is able to do it, but usually isn't the best way to play Skellige, unless you're Svalbard and Vildkarl very specifically, but you don't really need 2 cards for that. You just need Last Say and Svalbard charges. So, but again, even Svalbard works with this. Since you ping the armor off, and you get that value, it's actually like turning his damage into a boost. Plus you get the 5 points as well. So just with this and Veteran and of course the Vildkarl, there just seems to be a ton of options for Svalbard's Ursine Ritual ability. But really anything that damages, put the Priest next to this, put the Cultist next to it. It's a card that is just made for Skellige, a very, very Skelligan, very well designed card. Its cost is really high because it's ultimately can be removed by any tall removal and is vulnerable to reset, so it does have that going against it, but it does have enough combo potential to probably see play in some decks. One-Eyed Betsy is a 10 provision point 4 strength Ogroid bandit with 2 armor. On deployed, damage an enemy unit by 4, and if it has armor, damage it by 6 instead. Neutral card, another bandit, very interesting. Especially when we see the next card. It seems like bandits are absolutely going to be a thing for a neutral faction type deck. We'll see if this is good. I don't know. I hope it's fun. We have to see everything before we're sure, and I think maybe different factions will be able to use the bandits differently. But it's interesting, that's for sure. And this is definitely anti-armor attack. Seems to be the Regis Bloodlust of this expansion. Something that's going to come down and just knock the crap out of something and do something extra to it. I think it's priced accordingly, considering something like Regis Bloodlust is a 4 strength unit that deals 4 damage. So is this. It also has armor for anything that cares about that. There's a lot of armor on units that seem to just kind of have it. I think Voimir is an example of a unit that just kind of has armor. Iron Falcon Knife Juggler is another example. It's just a 1 strength unit with 1 armor. So like it seems to be just an odd inclusion. And this actually will bring us segueing right into the last card, Free Company, which also has just 1 armor on it. It's just interesting, but it's another card that, much like Voimir, is a card that cares about a board state and a specific card. This is the Free Company. 8 provisions for a 6 strength human bandit neutral card with 1 armor. On deploy, boost all allied bandits by 1. There needs to be a bandit swarm type ability, and there needs to be perhaps a bronze neutral card that creates bandits or does something with bandits, something maybe that already exists that I'm not thinking of, but I'm really just thinking about Triss Telekinesis, able to push that a little bit harder. Again, I got to call back to what I said about Voimir. Cards like this usually aren't seeing play. However, as a closer in something that's really strong, like a swarm type ability, depending on how these bandits are generated, perhaps there's something with Bone Talisman and Triss Telekinesis that can make this actually playable. Bandits appear to have support here, and we're not quite done yet. There are 3 days left of reveals, and we maybe haven't even seen the spiciest cards yet. But that'll do it for us here. And that'll take us to Sunday's reveals. We're going to get things started right back on Monday. I'll be back at 11 a.m. Internet, help me, please. I hope we can get there. I hope we can keep the stream live. We're going to do a podcast on Tuesday, and then it's expansion day on Wednesday. We're going to get things started pretty early. If you haven't seen a video from me in a while, it's because I'm in the internet dark ages. But once again, thanks for watching another review video. I do love going through spoiler season with you. It's always a pleasure when you're covering a card game to reveal new cards and review them. What do you think about these huge new cards like Draco Turtle and Savolla and Savolla's best friend here? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.